Anyway, speaking of a show, Edge has now decided he wants to have good matches, trademark, with every one of these indie-rific jacks on the roster. And this week, it was Daniel Garcia. And as I was watching this, Stacy and Harley were in the room because I was giving Harley a belly rub, and Stace was looking, and she, what the f***? I told her I couldn't have gotten Daniel Garcia over on OVW television, where the local fan base was forgiving of inexperience and greenness because they knew what the deal was, that it was the developmental system. But Daniel Garcia is not at Smooth Johnny Spade level. As a local guy, never got a fucking contract. He lived here in Louisville, and he worked for Danny, and he worked for us for a while. He could talk, and he could work, and he had some personality. And unfortunately, he was probably only about 195 pounds, so he was a dwarf at that fucking point. But he could get heel heat, and he had oomph to him. Garcia has a bland physique, a blank stare look on his face, a nondescript head.
I've never heard that before. What is that?
Nothing. There's no, he's not a talker. He's not a bullshitter. He's not a personality. He don't have the oomph in the ring or some gaga to him. Or so, there's nothing there. He does fucking wrestling moves. There's nothing to work with.
Now, an AEW Defender would say, well, he has shown a lot more personality since he started doing his little dance on the runway.
Horse shit. There's a boring fucking guy that everybody gets a kick out of him doing the one interesting thing that he does in his life in the corner at a party.
All right, well, what about the party that was Daniel Garcia versus Adam Copeland?
So, after about 12 minutes of this, Edge has the crossface on, and here comes Dino and Nick Plain, and they come in and get a disqualification. So because Garcia is a babyface also, and it's a babyface match on top of that they're having. For why? Who knows? To potentially increase the chances that poor Edge is going to get hurt the more he does this shit. So Edge has the crossface. Here comes Dino and Nick Plain in. DQ. Christian Cage comes down along with Nick Plain's mom. And Christian gets the two chairs like he's going to do the Conchairto, but they've got Daddy Job Guy at ringside that tries to stop him by jerking the chair away from him. So the dinosaur levels Daddy Mac. And
there's a sentence never uttered before.
Yeah, the dinosaur leveled Daddy Mac. And then they get heat on Garcia, and then Edge is selling somewhere on the floor. They go for the Conchairto on Garcia, but Edge saves him. And then Nick Plain's mom goes from behind with the old women's style uppercut nut shot on Edge, and the heels beat up Edge, and then Christian gives him the Conchairto, which again, I don't care how many times they switch the camera on a moment of impact and how loud it sounds when you hit one chair with the other chair. Bill Watts, and he would have been right, and I would have done the same thing if the Conchairto was a thing I'd had to deal with at OVW or Ring of Honor. Fortunately, nobody tried to do it. It's phony as a football bat. Unless the guy's brains squirt out the top of his skull, don't do it. And anybody that had done that in front of Bill Watts or Eddie Graham or whoever, they would have fined him. Said, don't ever do that again. Does anybody believe that thing? And you can't even sell it. What are you going to do? Kick your feet up and down? There's no bump to take from it. And it looks hogwash. Am I being too goddamn strict with this?
Well, we've probably seen it too often for it to have the same impact that it would the first time you see it or hear it. But the other problem for me is, since Edge returned or Adam Copeland returned to wrestling a few years ago, how many times have we seen him just beaten down?
Constantly.
Yeah, too many times. I don't care anymore. Like, they completely blew it with this Adam Copeland, the layup of a feud, Adam Copeland and Christian. And they overcomplicated it with everything. What is this feud?
Do you think, certainly it's not Edge and Christian. Christian's a smart guy. He was smart for longer than most of the people in this company with being able to come out on this television program and look professional and not have to do anything stupid or be involved with children.
Yeah, he was smart because he was getting paid for not doing anything for a long time. That's why he was smart.
Well, but when he did something, it still, it stood out as being professional at a level that, wasn't matched on most of the rest of the program. And now he's got the woman and the fucking teenager and the goddamn big useless lizard and his longtime best friend who was a major star in the business, Edge, until just 6 months ago. Not even. Now it's like, nobody gives a shit.
And who's he going to be aligned with? Daniel Garcia, who he gets along with after this match, who's been aligned with FTR, who just got their ass kicked on the show? It's just so stupid. The way the booking's stupid.